welcome actor, comedian, writer, director, producer, and 23-year Marine Corps veteran, Rob Riggle.
This is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
All right. We'll get to that soon. All right, well, let's just start. Love your life, right? Love your life. Take pictures of everything. Seriously, you can do that, you know. I couldn't do that for most of my life. We live in a world you can do that, so do it. Tell people you love them. Do it. Don't wait. Talk to strangers. Do things that scare you. Trust me on that one. That's where the gold is, I promise. We're all going to die, right? Sorry, I hate to tell you how this one ends, but we're all going to die, so you might as well live every minute and love your life. And you never know when it's going to come. This is not a dress rehearsal, okay? This is life. It's happening right now, today, and tomorrow is promised to no one. So don't waste another minute. Can we all agree on that? All right. So, with that in mind, are you doing your best? I can answer that for you. No, you're not. Did you get up early today and work out? Did you read something that's going to help you grow personally or professionally last night? Have you reflected on everything you're grateful for? Have you visualized your dream? Have you made a plan? Are you executing your plan? What actions are you taking to fulfill your dreams? Do you express love for those you love? Have you accepted that your life is your responsibility? No judgment, by the way. I'm not judging you if you haven't, because I haven't done all that either. But it's something we got to do. If you're going to accomplish anything worthwhile in this life, you must be intentional about your thoughts and your actions. I'm consciously working on me and my dreams every day. Results may not always come on the timeline that I would like, but they will always appear in one way or another. So don't waste another minute of your life. Words are cheap, all right? Action. Action. That's what matters. Acta non verba. You've heard that? Yes? No? Well, you just learned some Latin today. Action, not words. That's what matters. I know what you're thinking. Dang, Riggle, you're coming kind of hot out of the gates, bro. Kind of hitting us right between the eyes. Yeah, I am. And the reason is because we don't have much time together. And if I'm going to be of any service to you, I need to share some of the lessons that I've learned pretty quickly. So, if you want your dreams to come true, I will tell you how to get it done. Sound good? All right, good. As you know, maybe you saw the thing, I'm Rob Riggle. It's an honor for me to be here. I'm a father, I'm a Marine, I'm an actor, a writer, a director, a producer, and I'm going to do all of you the courtesy of talking to you like adults, like the adults that you are. And that may seem very direct, especially in this safe, soft world we have created for ourselves. What can I say? Sorry, not sorry. I've had many successes in my life. I've had many failures in my life. I've seen war and I've seen Hollywood, and they are as equally as ugly. I'm asked for advice on a daily basis. Daily, no joke. I receive messages, DMs, letters from young people, veterans, all kinds of people really asking me for advice on how to break into show business. Well, let me tell you what they're really asking me. What they're really asking me is, will I personally help them get an opportunity in show business? Or what is a show business hack so they can get to the top of the mountain without doing all the work, or enduring all the pain, or dealing with the struggle, or the risk, or the heartbreak. And the reason I know this is because I wanted the same thing when I started out. It's human nature. It's human nature to seek the path of least resistance. So I'm not judging. However, through my experiences in this life, which have been vast and often very intense, I can tell you there aren't any hacks when you're trying to accomplish something worthwhile. They just don't exist. An example of what I'm talking about, I could give you a black belt today, right? You could put that black belt on, and you could walk around this arena and tell everybody you're a black belt. And most people would probably believe you. But someday you're going to get called to the mat, and you're going to get exposed. You have to do the work. There's just no shortcut. You have to climb the mountain yourself. In karate, everybody starts with a white belt when they begin their journey. Some will work harder. Some will be more dedicated. Some will have more natural talent. Some might have better teachers. That's life. That's just life. However, if it's something you want, you will take the actions necessary. You will put in the work necessary, and you will eventually become a black belt. And then when you are tested, you will be ready. This metaphor applies to almost everything in life, from what I've found. So, stop with the instant gratification, okay? Anything worthwhile in this life simply takes blood, sweat, and tears, not hacks. You get out of life what you put into it. That applies to everything, relationships, work, health, you name it. Here's the catch, though. Here's the catch. Life isn't fair. Ooh, that sucks. What do you mean? Well, you know what I mean. Most of you do. Life isn't fair. So you may take the actions. You may demonstrate discipline. You may do the work and still not achieve the desired results. It can happen. It's not the world's fault. Even if it is the world's fault, it's not the world's fault. It's still your life. And no one is going to take responsibility for your life but you. So when the failure occurs, and it will, what are you going to do about it? Because this is the moment where character is found. This is where you find your strength. This is where you grow. These are the moments when you actually get closer to your dreams and not farther away. I almost quit acting and comedy on several occasions. That was timed comedically as about as good as it gets. You guys, that was awesome. I almost quit comedy acting. Smattering of applause. The hell? That's like the anti-Rob Riggle fan group over there. Go to hell, Riggle! But I did. I almost quit. I'll give you an example. I'll tell you a story. I was still on active duty in the Marine Corps in New York City. I was doing comedy and acting at night, every weekend. I got a call saying, hey, we got a commercial audition from you. I didn't even have an agent or a manager. I got a call from a friend who was nice enough to recommend me or suggest me or whatever. So I was like, great, commercial audition, this is awesome, let's go. All right, well, you got to come in a suit. So I was like, oh, God. So I wore my uniform to the office, but then I'd have to change into this civilian suit. I only had one at the time. It was kind of a heavy wool suit. So I put it on. I had to take the shuttle over to Times Square, then I had to take the 1-9 down to the Lower West Side. Then I had to hoof it about a half mile over to the Hudson River. So it took a long time to get there. And of course it rained, so my suit stunk like the devil. And I was a wet rat, and I show up and I walk into the audition and they say, sign up over there. So I go over and I put my name on this clipboard where there's just pages. Then I go through the next door and there's 200 guys who look just like me in their suits, getting ready to do a Dr. Scholes commercial audition. Here was the line I had to say. The line I had to say was, I'm gelling, are you gelling? That's it. That's all I had to do. So I went in. There's a handful of producers, the director's sitting there. Slate your name. Hi, I'm Rob Riggle, 6'2". Okay. And go. I'm gelling. Are you gelling? Thanks, Rob. That's it. I had to go back out in the rain, walk all the way back, get on the 1-9, go back, take the shuttle over, walk down to my office, get out of that wet suit, put on my uniform, and finish out the day. I get a call at the end of the day saying, hey, Rob, you must have killed it. You really dazzled them because they want you to come back. Okay, so good. Hey, okay, good. This is good. Same routine next day. Put on the suit, go all the way back down. Takes an hour to get there. By the time I get there, I'm soaking. My suit stinks. I stink. I didn't have time to wash it. Now there's more producers. Now the ad agency is there as well. So I go in. I'm gelling. Are you gelling? Thanks, Rob. I leave again. I get a call. I don't know what you're doing, but you are dazzling these guys. They want you to come back for another audition the next day. But here's the good news, Rob. If you go back for 3 auditions, you get paid for the 3rd audition. Really? How much? $75. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Professional actor, guys. So I go back, 3rd day in a row, go down, put on the suit, stink, hate everybody. I'm doing it. I'm gelling. Are you gelling? They can't believe how good I am. It's unbelievable. I leave. You know what's coming, right? They call me back for a 4th time. I have to come back down. Now it's like Friday. Now, everybody that works at Dr. Scholes apparently is in the room. The entire ad agency, all the producers, the director, and it's down to me and like 20 guys. And I go in and I give it the old, I'm gelling, are you gelling? Through gritted teeth. I'm gelling, are you gelling? That kind of thing. You did great, Rob. I made it down to the final 3. And at this point, I'm questioning everything. I'm questioning if there's a God. I'm questioning why I'm in New York City. Why did I leave flight school to pursue comedy and acting? And I come out, I give it the old, I'm gelling, are you gelling? Rob, can you say it happy? Sure. I'm gelling, are you gelling? That was good. Then they all talk. Oh, man, yeah, passing notes. Oh, yeah. Rob, I'm wondering, is there any way you could maybe say it like you're concerned? They all love that idea. Sure. I'm gelling. Are you gelling? Wow, that was dynamite. Can you say it angry? I'm gelling. Are you gelling? Can you say it while you do this? It was ridiculous. They had me say it every which way but loose. So I said it again and again and again, and they sent me home. That was an entire week of auditions. I didn't get it. And that's when something inside me broke. A short circuit of sorts, as I felt an out-of-body experience happen. I said, what the hell are you doing here? Why are you in New York? Why did you do this? I'm gelling, you're gelling. You can't figure it out after the first audition. I got to go 5 times to be told no. All my friends, all my peers, they were getting their 2nd and 3rd promotions because they were moving up their corporate ladders. They were getting married. They were starting their families. And I'm still chasing this dream. And, wondering if I'm the biggest idiot on earth. Do I even have the talent? Should I even be there? You're questioning everything. And I almost quit because at the time I had a very lucrative corporate job offer. And the temptation to quit was great. I had been grinding for 6 years in New York City, working 2-3 jobs. On top of my Marine Corps, I would also go out and moonlight and do other jobs to make money. And then I was doing comedy every night. Even if I wasn't on stage, I was doing lights and sound for other people's shows just so I could learn more about comedy and get to meet more comedians. 6 years I'd been grinding, and I'm gelling, are you gelling? I can't even get that. So what the hell am I doing here? And it was a dark moment. It was a very, very dark moment. And it was a total gut check. And I'm proud to say I passed that test. I passed that gut check, and I stuck with it, but it almost broke me. And it wasn't the first time, and it wasn't the last. There were many, many times it came around like that. So, I've got more stories, and I want to share them with you, but I also have a really good friend here in Utah who asked me to come to this, actually, and talk with y'all, and he's here, and I want to bring him up on stage so we can have a conversation about some things. So if you would be kind enough to please welcome Randy Garn, everybody.
Love it. You're awesome, man. Let's give it up for Rob Riggle, y'all. Amazing. Let's head up here.
All right.
We're going to do a little Q&A with Mr. Riggle coming in to Utah. It's so good having you here.
Thank you.
We're just asking a few questions with Rob. A lot of you have seen Rob's movies. What's some of your favorite movies of Rob you've seen? Huh? Step Brothers. Is that a good one?
I love Step Brothers.
I mean, there's so many amazing things that you've done. A lot of people know you as an amazing actor, comedian, but I've had the opportunity to get to know you as a friend, a father, a leader. Like some of the discussions that we've had out, fishing or on the golf course or things like that. It's just amazing the things that you're able to do. And I'd also like to just recognize you for serving in our military and serving for the Marines as well. Can we give him a huge round for us? So it's just amazing that your career, and like I listen to your stories, nobody has an idea what it takes to be an actor and to build businesses. It takes courage. One of my questions for you is, how did serving in the military help you throughout your professional life to really have courage?
Well, I wouldn't have pursued comedy and acting had I not served in the Marine Corps. And the reason I say that is because I joined the Marines when I was 19. I was still an undergrad at the University of Kansas, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, everybody. I didn't know much about myself at 19. I definitely probably didn't believe in myself nearly enough. But going through the Marine Corps, going through officer candidate school, going through that process, they push you beyond your perceived limits.
Yeah.
I had an idea in my mind of what I could do.
Yeah.
And it was right here. I didn't have any idea that I could do this. And it wasn't until I was forced to do it. It wasn't until someone pushed me, and that was the Marine Corps. Then I had great coaches, and I had great friends and great parents that, encouraged me, but no one drew a line in the sand and said, that's not enough. You've got to do more.
Yeah.
And so the Marines did that. And they also gave me the intangibles of don't quit, have a thick skin. And acting and show business, you got to have a thick skin because you're going to get rejected 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, someone's going to look at you and say, not you, not you, not you. And they're never going to tell you why. They're just going to say, not you. And that leaves you to drive home or to walk home or take a subway home in the rain going, what's wrong with me? Am I too fat? Am I too skinny? Do I not speak well enough? And then you beat the tar out of yourself for days. And that happens 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
So having a thick skin, having a never quit mentality, and also just betting on myself, believing in myself, that happened because of the Marine Corps. You go through certain things in the Marine Corps, whether it's physical challenges, whether it's, one of the things you teach when you're a second lieutenant is your Marines are going to test you, which means they're going to push you.
Yeah.
You're a 22-year-old lieutenant. These guys are grizzled, tough sons of guns, and they're not going to follow you anywhere unless they believe in you. And so they're going to test you.
Yeah.
And so you realize real quickly, I gotta get my head screwed on straight, and I gotta get control of this thing. And you start betting on yourself, and you start believing in yourself.
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate to start young. Start young. Whatever you do, start now. Start now. And if you're older, start now. That's a big thing because reps are everything. Repetition. The more practice you have, the better you're going to get. That's science. That's not me. That's just science. So.
What was a point during that time in your life? Well, you read a book. Well, I mean, and things happened, and like it's a.
Well, it's actually a friend of yours.
Yeah.
So I was in flight school. I had my pilot's license. I was in flight school for the Marines down in Corpus Christi, Texas, Naval Air Station, and I was doing fine. I was working my way through primary flight training and about to start intermediates. I got helicopters, so I was going to go down that pipeline. For the first time in my life, I had a conversation. You might call it a quarter-life crisis. I think I was 24 at the time.
Quarter-life crisis.
Yeah, quarter-life crisis. And I was like, am I doing what I really want to be doing? And because I have all these dreams, but I never dared to tell anybody because in my mind, they were so far-fetched. They were so ridiculous. They were so... I didn't want to share it with anybody because I was almost embarrassed to say I want to be a comedian, I want to be an actor. Yeah. I came from the Midwest, and my parents were gracious enough to pay for my school, so I felt like I owed them something more than being a waiter, which is what most actors do out of school. Yeah. And also, I just didn't think it was in the cards for me. I just didn't believe a kid from Kansas could do this type of stuff. I thought it was something else. But the Marines gave me that confidence. And I was reading a book by Tony Robbins, your friend, and the book was Unlimited Power. And it just hit me like a lightning bolt. Why not me? Why not me? And I started asking better questions. Why not me? Why not now? If not now, when? If not me, who? Yeah. And I started asking and answering questions, which that's what thinking is. Asking and answering questions. Yeah. And we don't do enough of that. So do that in your life. Ask yourself questions and answer them. Don't just say, why can't I get this done? Yeah. Why can't I get this done? And then answer it. And be honest with yourself. So I'm sitting on the beach in Corpus Christi, Texas. I'm by myself. I'm having this quarter-life crisis. I'm about a third of the way through flight school. And I just have this epiphany that this is not how I want to spend my life. I want to be a comedian and actor. And I knew that if I pinned those wings on, they were going to have me contractually for almost 10 to 11 years before I even had the chance to get out of the Marine Corps. And at that point, I'd only have 9 years left, so I would be a fool to get out because that would be 20 years. That'd be my retirement. Yeah. I was like, these recruiters are smart. I was like, they got me for 20. I wasn't planning on 20. Holy cow. So I made the first independent adult, maybe the second one. The first one was joining the Marine Corps. Yeah. That was my first independent adult decision that was solely mine. The second one was to not continue flight school, to switch over, become a ground officer so that my time was limited so that I could get out and pursue comedy and acting. Yeah. So I'm sitting here reading the book. It's Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. And I make the decision. It's made. And that's a great feeling when you make a decision, when you decide what you want. Because I danced with it for way too long. But when I got clarity, when I said, no, I've made my decision, it's like the weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders. Yep. So I flipped to the back of the book and I wrote, I'll never forget, I wrote, if I do this, if I quit. Because up to then I hadn't quit anything in my life. I don't believe in it. Yep. But I wrote, if I quit, it's gotta matter. It's gotta count. So what am I gonna do? What am I going to do? I'm going to do something. This is not going to be for nothing. So the first thing I wrote was, I'm going to get on Saturday Night Live. Dude. And this was September of 1994. Yeah. Now, cut to September 2004. 10 years later, 2 wars later, a marriage, a child, a whole lot of struggle, a whole lot of Dr. Scholes. Yep. Cut to 10 years later with all of that. I got a call from Lauren Michaels asking me to join the cast of Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
So,
Wow. That's amazing.
it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done. I really believe. I believe in manifestation. I believe in getting clear on your goals, on writing them down, on staying focused on it no matter what comes, because a lot did come in those 10 years that tried to derail me. A lot of opportunities, a lot of obstacles, but I just kept my eye on that beacon on top of that hill, and no matter what came, I just kept moving towards it. Sometimes leaps and bounds, sometimes crawling, but I just kept it on. Now, here's where I screwed up.
Amazing, Rob.
Do we have time?
Yeah.
Here's where I screwed up. I was so focused on that goal that when I got it, I was like, woohoo! I had forgot to make more plans. I had forgot to make more dreams. I had forgot to make more goals. And so my time on Saturday Night Live was very short-lived. And I can say, in all honesty, it really wasn't because I did something wrong or because they didn't like me. It was an election year. SNL gets big ratings in an election year. That election was Bush-Kerry and nobody cared, so they didn't get the big ratings. And everybody at late night television at NBC panicked.
Yeah.
So last one in, first one out. So I was out, myself and a couple others.
But you really never know like what dominoes will happen in your life just from one decision you made then and following your dreams, right? You never know how one conversation, even from this event, or maybe some of the speakers that they've heard here, can impact the rest of their life, just those simple decisions.
Reading that book.
Yeah.
Reading that book was the first domino in changing the direction of my life. And I would have never guessed it.
Wow.
I would have never guessed it. Yeah. I read it, the words hit me right. There were some phrases in there that challenged me and crystallized things for me in my mind that helped me make the decision that I was done flying.
I love it.
And I was going to go pursue comedy and acting. So,
awesome.
Read. There's so many great books out there. Randy has a good book too, but read these books because there's a message. You heard Steve Young talk. You're listening to me. You heard Jim Quick. There's so many wonderful people you're gonna have the opportunity to hear and listen. We've been down these roads. We've done the Dr. Scholes nightmare, and I've got other nightmares I could share. Yeah. How much time do we have?
Yeah, we got some time.
I'm going to tell you a quick story about after Saturday Night Live. I got a call. They only call you when they hire you. They never call you when they fire you. My manager got a fax message saying, we're not extending Rob's contract. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. I gave myself I was at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. I never forget when I got the call. And I gave myself about a 10-minute pity party where I felt really bad. I was embarrassed. I was hurt. I wanted to fix it. I wanted to change it. I wanted to do all these things that I had no power or control over. And I just felt sorry for myself. And then I realized I have a family that I have to provide for. Yeah. So my next call was to my manager saying, okay, let's get to work. And I got a job writing a pilot for NBC. They didn't pick it up. And I was back in the grind. And I learned a valuable lesson that day, which is there's no finish line in show business. There's no finish line in your career. There's no finish line, but for death, there's no finish line. So you've got to keep learning and growing, because if you're not growing, you're dying. It's a law of nature. So keep doing that.
That's freaking awesome. Amazing.
I was running out of money. I had a daughter at the time. I had a wife at the time. And I needed to provide for them. That's my makeup. That's how I function well. That's what I do. And I wanted to provide for them, but I was out of money. I was not getting any acting work. I was getting little guest appearances, but they, $500 here, $600. It's not paying the bills. So at that point, I was still in the reserves, the Marine Corps reserves. I had been promoted to major at that point. It was the height of the war in Iraq. It was the summer of 2006.
Yep.
I went in, I did an audition for The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. I made it through the LA auditions. I did well enough. They invited me out to New York to go in the studio and do an audition. It was down to me and 3 other guys. And go in and do a reading with Jon Stewart at the desk and then one in front of the green screen. And they give you old scripts or whatever. And I remember I was out there getting ready to do the piece, the green screen piece. And so I'm just kind of screwing around because I'm doing a teleprompter, and I'd never done a teleprompter before. Yeah. And John was watching, and so because I was loose and just kind of screwing around, he's like, "That's great, come on up here and let's do this." So I thought, oh no, I was just screwing around. That's not how I want to do that. But that's over now. I've lost that opportunity. So now I'm up at the desk thinking, now I'm panicking, thinking I've lost half of my audition because I was screwing around. And now, now I'm here, and instead of being present with John, I'm thinking about how I just screwed that up. So now I do this part of the audition with John, and I was half in, half out of it. You know, I wasn't, my head was spinning. And I remember I left, and John was very gracious, and I left, and I went out on the street, and I called my wife at the time, and I apologized. I did. I said, "I'm sorry. I think I blew it. But don't worry. We're not going to starve. I'm going to go back on active duty. I know they need people, and we're going to be fine. So we're not going hungry. We're not going to be out in the street. We're going to be okay." And she said, "It's okay." And that was it. And then I went back inside, and God bless, I got the job. So I was able to stay, and I thank Jon Stewart for giving me that job. And then from The Daily Show, I stayed on The Daily Show for 3 years, and then I started to get film work and more TV work, and then I was able to grow as an actor and a comedian. But you know, sometimes you get down to your last dollar. Sometimes you get down and you get tested. You get tested. Yeah. Anything worthwhile in this life, you will be tested, I promise you. Mm-hmm. But if it's what you want and if it's worthwhile and it matters, you will pay the price. What other choice do you have? You don't have any other choice. So do it. Do it or don't do it, but don't complain about it.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, Rob Riggle. It's amazing. Amazing. Freaking love
Thanks, brother.
You're the best, dude.